who are here today had a wonderful time there. Joe can sing Elvis real well.
Really?
So happy Mother's Day to all of us. I would like to uplift this. This isn't a long talk. It's long enough because we have a little thing to do at the end of it. But this is the harvest right here, right now. This month we are planting seeds of bringing into our awareness a whole new humanity, a new way of being, a whole new world. And that sounds like a pretty big order, doesn't it? Because it is. But then, that's why we're here. There is a shift in consciousness. I know that everybody is, well, most people, because I'm surrounded by such wonderful, like-minded people, and we can feel the shift in consciousness that is a planetary energy that is going on right here and right now. And I don't mean just in this room here today, but I mean on this planet. There is a major shift going on. And we're not here by accident. So don't think you're here by accident. We are here because when we were in our unformed state, when we were spirit, we still are, but when we were not in this flesh, we said, pick me, pick me. Pick me to come to Earth. Pick me to put on an Earth suit. Pick me. And we did this so that we could be a part of this new humanity. And that's something that I really believe that we did as souls. I really think that we did that we chose to be here at exactly this time and this space right now, that we chose that. And however we are here, we're standing at the precipice of something that is pretty big. And if you don't know that, you should know that. We're all standing at the precipice of something really big, and we're all co-creating it together. Oh, it's so exciting. The energies around our planet are speeding up in our evolutionary jump. We're having this evolutionary jump in consciousness. It is taking place. It is taking place right now. And this is the moment. This is the moment. And we can enter our seed thoughts if we choose, because we always have that choice. We can enter seed thoughts that play a part in hastening that jump and aiding it into being smoother, or we can hold back and experience that. But to move forward into the brilliance of who we truly are, that's what we're being called to do. And there are many times, most of it, in fact, all the time, you got to go through a little chaos to get to the brilliance. So if things seem unsettled and changing, they are. They're changing everywhere. I hear it from individuals, and if you read the newspapers and listen to the news, I'm sure it's taking place, because it's always seems to be taking place. But I haven't listened for a while, so I don't know what's going on. But I know things are changing and shifting. They have to be. And it's so that we can come. We are the light showers. We are the light showers. Each one here is a light shower. Know that about yourself. Really know that about yourself. And there's an adage from the I Ching that says, in the beginning of great brilliance, there must be chaos. And that is an ancient text. So this has been going on before you get to clarity. It's like, you know, I always think of the analogy of cleaning a closet. You know, you take everything out of a closet and it looks like chaos. But then, when you get rid of what you don't want and you put back the things you want, there's this clarity. And that's what's going on in our lives. It's going on personally for me, and it's going on personally for many, many people here. I know this, I know this. So as we celebrate motherhood on this special day, it is my desire that we bring forth the divine feminine from all of us. Because you guys, you have it too. You have it too. This is not just about women. It's about the divine feminine in all of us. And realizing that this divine feminine is a healing energy, is healing. This is 2012, it's the year of feminine energy, because a healing needs to take place. And so that's what we're being called forth to do here. And in June, we will talk about the divine masculine. So we all had that too. So there will be equal opportunity for that. But I'm just going to go on a little bit of the origins, because I think this is really interesting. And I had to look this up, and I wasn't aware of this. Of Mother's Day. Who started it? Where did it start from? A lot of you might know, but if you're like me, you didn't. Well, it's interesting. There was a woman, her name was Julia Ward Howe, and she is the author of the words for the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And she came up with the idea of an International Mother's Day in 1872. And the thing to point out about this and about her is that her objective behind Mother's Day wasn't to honor mothers, but rather to celebrate peace. She was a peace activist that was coming out of the Civil War. And about Mother's Day, Marianne Williamson wrote, Mother's Day started with mothers from the South who had lost sons in the Civil War, and they connected with the mothers from the North who had lost sons in the Civil War. And they were trying to inspire women to stop war altogether. You know, that hasn't happened, but we can always hold that healing energy. So let's make Mother's Day a day when we stand for peace. I think that is a really beautiful way to think of Mother's Day. A day that we celebrate peace. Peace within us, peace in all of our activities, and then always it's an inside job, and then it reflects outward, and then we have peace in our experiences, and that spreads. So, where do we stand in this morning? Are we feeling the peace within us? Are we feeling peace in our lives? In our very beingness? And how are we expressing it in the world as peaceful beings? We can say these words, but unless we actually implement them, be them, and use them, they're just words. They're just ideas. So I'm inviting everyone to celebrate the divine feminine as peace, as this energy that heals, because peace heals. Peace heals. And there's so many thousands of pages written on divine, believe it or not, on divine feminine, and we're not going to get into that. But I do want to quote, because I want to bring in a little science of mind. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, he didn't write a lot about the feminine, but he did write this in the glossary, and it's his definition of feminine principle. He says, the feminine principle as the universal soul. In people, it is the subconscious intelligence. The universal soul has been called the womb of nature and the Holy Mother because it is receptive to spirit and is impregnated with divine ideas. It gives birth to the ideas of spirit and is therefore the feminine principle of nature. So we talk. Usually every week I bring the law and all those immutable laws. So that's the subconscious stuff that you see is unformed substance. So what we put into it then, that's the divine feminine. It gives birth to the effects, the experiences in our lives. I mean, do you get as excited as I get about the creative process? I have to stop because I get so excited about the creative process. But that's the divine feminine, that's what it is. It's that unformed substance that gives birth to all the newness in our lives. And we co-create that. We implant the seed of our thought into that. And then we experience what we're thinking. So peace, let's hold peace if we want peace in our lives. So I don't want to fill your head with a whole bunch of lots of information here. I want us to have a little bit of an experience today on this Sunday morning. So this is not a long talk, but it's about healing with the divine feminine and healing the wounds that we all have. We all have healing to do in our lives that we can be birth mothers of a new era. We are moving forward. And if someone called, well, no, I was going to say that for Joe. Joe, is you here? Okay. If someone calls you a mother, it is a good thing. It is, in fact, it is a really great thing, because Joe says that to me all the time. I wasn't going to say it, but Spirit got a hold of me. I was still over that. I wrote it. We are all mothers. We are mothers of our lives. We nurture our lives if we choose to. And in that nurturing, there is so much healing. But there is a paradox. There is a paradox about healing. Because in Science of Mind, we say there's nothing to be healed, only perfection and wholeness to be revealed. That's the paradox of it. But it certainly feels sometimes in our lives that there are certain things that might require our attention in healing. And yesterday he's not here, but we had the opportunity, oh, there he is, to have Bill Clark, our practitioner. He created and led a practitioner retreat that was so nurturing, so healing, because it was all geared around forgiveness. Forgiveness. And I know, those that walked in there, except for Carol Mayo, that had nothing to heal, something came up. There was something, you know, there's still always more to heal. The healing is, it really feels eternal while we are in these earth suits. So there are certainly times when there are, like I said, like we feel that there are things that need to be healed. And I ask you this morning, where in your heart, because your heart is that intelligence that will allow you to really know without judgment, right? The heart, not the mind, the heart. So go to the heart, and perhaps you had a healing there. Maybe it was in relationships. Think about in your heart where you would like to have a healing. In relationships, finances, in your health. It could be in many different areas of your life. Many different areas of your life. And it's all the information, all the guidance that you need resides in your heart. And if you remember last week, I did say that everything comes from within and then without first. So everything starts within us. It starts within our heart, within our consciousness, within our thinking, and then it takes form as our experiences. So just think in your heart where you would need a little bit of healing, and where you can lay that burden down. Because we're going to do just a very quick thing here this morning where we can lay whatever that thing that needs healing within you, where you can lay it on the divine feminine altar. The altar of the divine feminine, and let it be healed. Let it be healed this morning. So I'm sure that each of us have a memory of the deep and profoundly healing experience of love. Just think about that, of the divine feminine. It may or may not have come from your birth mother. Some mothers were able to do that, and some mothers just simply couldn't. But it, as Bill has said in his reading, which is like so perfectly synchronistic with the talk, which I never know the reading until the day of, and it was perfect because it could have been someone that was a surrogate mother. It could have been a friend, a sister. It could have been a total stranger. It doesn't have to have been if you didn't feel that connection. But it could have been, because there are some mothers that weren't able to do that, to show that caring and that support and that compassion and that protection. But we always have someone in our lives that can represent what that feels like if we open to that concept. And I know that for myself, some of my most profound and heart-touching healings have come not from the family of origin, but from my family of my friends. My family of my friends. So I can think of that when I think of the loving energy, the divine feminine. You know, I think of that energy. Whatever it was, I want you to go back to that place right now. Just think of that nice, that feeling of love, of being supported. That feeling that you could melt into, that feels really good. And I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes briefly and just think about that energy. And what kind of experience was it? How did it feel? And come from your heart. Allow the heart to open just a little bit. Or it can open wide like the floodgate. Drink in this moment, because this moment is truly filled with the energy of the divine feminine. It's filled with peace. I can feel the energy in this room. It's filled with just this feeling of safety, of love. Now bring yourself to whatever place in your heart that you feel might need a healing. Just bring yourself there. And simply place that experience, if you will, on the altar of love. And watch it dissolve into the fire of the divine feminine. So bring yourself back to the room. And so mothers come in many shapes and many sizes. Some are the embodiment of a divine feminine. Others, not so much. But most people are somewhere in between. Somewhere in between. And none of them were perfect. Most of us have made what we call mistakes in our lives. We made many mistakes. Everybody has. And we may have our own individual relationship with our mothers. Whether they are in body now, or even if they're not here in physical form, it's the... And Mary Morrissey, in her Prosperity Plus class, which we're in the middle of, talks about all the relationships we ever will have or are having are within us. They're not outside of us. They're within us. So all the emotions, all the feelings, all of that experience is within us. That's where our relationships are. So regardless of our relationship with our mothers, there is a priceless gift that she gave us. There is a priceless gift that she gave us. She was God's vessel that brought us into this world. It birthed us into this world. Without this person, there would be none of you. We come through another human. So that is the priceless gift. We can at least, if we can't find anything else to be grateful to our mothers for, we can be grateful that they birthed us into this experience. So we get to be here together, and to support each other. And remember earlier I said that our souls begged and cried out, you know, let me come in, let me come in. Well, what if the other soul there was saying, oh, let me be the one that brings them in. Let me be the one who brings him or her in. It's kind of like that whole soul contract thing. So you see the oneness, you feel the unity, you feel it completely. So today, we bring this quality of the divine feminine into play around mothers. This is the day we celebrate motherhood. As we offer words of gratitude and thanksgiving for giving us life, So we can celebrate that. We can celebrate that. That's okay. And as I said, the divine feminine is that place of unformed substance. So we can plant all these ideas of whatever we want to experience in our lives. So heal, let go of, heal, all of anything that might be in the heart, that might be heavy. And just know that the love of God is the truth of your being. That you are here to celebrate a brilliance. That is the truth of who you are. And this is, right now, I would like to just have a couple of people, if somebody, a couple of people would be willing to just maybe share just a couple of words, briefly, about their mothers, or about someone that represented anything.